Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on Monday, a strange sort of Monday morning this week, as it's the first Monday of the mid-season break, because of course the World Cup is looming large now, gets underway in less than a week's time, 6 days, isn't it, till the opening game, and the weekend's Premier League fixtures were the last until Boxing Day. What a huge wait, but looking at the silver linings, it means we've got about 4 or 5 weeks to be able to look at the Premier League table and see Arsenal sitting a very handy 5 points clear. Still looks very nice indeed, that league table, after the results at the weekend. Manchester City losing, of course, and then Arsenal going to Wolves and winning. As I spoke about in yesterday's video, if you haven't seen it yet, then go and give that a watch. Then I'll do my full roundup on that game, player ratings, that sort of thing. Today I wanted to talk a lot about what exactly Arsenal are going to be doing during this break. It's a very interesting time, kind of an unknown sort of time in football, this having a break in the middle of the season like this right in the middle of November. So I'll talk a little bit about what Arsenal have got planned, and there is plenty. Mikel Arteta is not giving his players a good sort of month-long holiday to come back. There's lots that is going to be going on, so I'll talk about that. I wanted to start, I had to talk about Ronaldo first of all. I know it's not Arsenal related, although Piers Morgan, who did the interview with Ronaldo, is desperately trying to make it up Arsenal related by saying they should sign him, which is just a load of utter rubbish. But obviously the interview has happened. I'm sure you've seen it. It sort of dropped last night. Some of the snippets from it, we haven't seen the full interview that's coming on Wednesday and Thursday, that Piers Morgan has done. But it's certainly generated huge headlines across the world. It's on all the front and back newspapers this week. Ronaldo kicking off about his situation, saying he feels betrayed at Man United, blah, blah, blah. Boo-hoo, Cristiano. And it's just nice, isn't it? It's just nice to be sitting watching all this for once, because normally Arsenal are involved in this sort of situation. When it comes to a big name, overpaid, aging player kicking off and going through a sort of difficult breakup with a club, it tends to be Arsenal. We've seen it so many times over recent years that Arsenal seem to be at the centre of all these situations, so it's kind of nice just to be able to sit back at the moment. It's 5 points clear at the top of the table and just watch the chaos ensue somewhere else. I don't know, Ronaldo's not got a leg to stand on for me, anyway, just because the manager is clearly putting pieces together at Man United to build a good solid team, and they've actually looked like they've got a bit of a plan for the first time in God knows how long. And the fact that Ronaldo is now kicking off after a win as well, that this comes out, it's just classic overpaid. I mean, it's tough to say overpaid because he's such a legend of the game, so maybe warrants the money he's getting, but it's just clearly got the ego the size of Mars, and it's just, yeah. I mean, we've been through this with Arsenal before, and it's difficult, these sort of breakups with players who fans love, but ultimately it tends to be when something like this happens, the manager tends to be right, and I'm absolutely sure at Man United, Ten Hag is right on this one, just like Arteta was right with Ozil, just like in the end Arteta was right with Aubameyang. You just got to take the tough decisions as a manager and move on and build a team looking to the future. And Manchester United, like I said, for the first time in a long time, actually look like they've got a team that's looking to the future. Ronaldo, of course, he can still do it. He showed what he could do last season with all those goals, but there's no doubt you stick Ronaldo in that team at the moment, they don't look as good. Take Ronaldo out of the team, and you play the more youthful, energetic, work ethic type players, and Man United look better. It's as simple as that. So yeah, I mean, Piers Morgan honestly was saying, Arsenal should sign Ronaldo in January, they'll definitely win the league. What a load of rubbish. What a load of rubbish. The last thing this Arsenal squad now is need Ronaldo's ego landing at London Colney in January and just totally disrupted everything of him to be kicking off when he's not playing. It's just rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Ronaldo, absolute legend of the game, right up there. Not as good as Messi. I'm sure a lot of you are going to get annoyed about that. But legend of the game, superb. But come to Arsenal in January, whoa, couldn't think of anything worse right now. Stay well clear. And they will stay well clear, obviously. It's not something they would actually do. It's just Piers Morgan doing what Piers Morgan tends to do. Okay, so enough about Ronaldo. I'm sure you're probably watching this thinking, why am I listening to Ronaldo? But it's just such a big story, and I just felt like I had to say something about it. So what are Arsenal doing during the World Cup? Like I said, plenty planned with Mikel Arteta and the squad. A few of it hasn't been sort of completely confirmed. I'm expecting confirmation from Arsenal sort of early this week, potentially even today, but certainly during this week, of exactly how things are going to go. But this is from my understanding of how things are shaping up. There was just a little, the contracts have to be officially signed, that sort of thing. And until that happens, the club won't announce it. But some players, I think Martin Odegaard's actually away with Norway this week. He's got a couple of games for Norway. They've got a couple of friendlies. So some players, even if they're not going to the World Cup, are linking up with their international teams. The players who have gone to the World Cup, they'll all be joining up with their teams over the next couple of days. In terms of the Arsenal players who aren't going to the World Cup, and there's plenty of them, your likes of Odegaard, like I said, although he's going away with Norway, but, your Reece Nelsons, for example, your Gabriel Magalhaes, your Scotland aren't they? No, Kieran Tierney, all those sort of players. They now have a holiday. They're going to have about a week's long holiday, maybe just over a week. I think they've been allowed to go off with their family, been given permission to go off and do what they want to do for a week, recharge their batteries a little bit. I'm sure you'll probably see them popping up in various places around the world on Instagram. And then they're all going to come back to Colney at some point next week. I'm not sure the exact day they come back next week, but they are coming back, and they'll spend a few days back at Colney. And then it is off to Dubai. Obviously, Arsenal sponsored by Emirates. They always go to Dubai. They had some really good training camps there in recent years. I think the last time they were there was early this year, wasn't it? In February, I think. And they went there before when they opened the new stadium, didn't they? El Nassr's new stadium, where they're actually going to be playing this during this mid-season warm weather training camp. So they'll be heading over to Dubai. I think they're going to spend 10 days in Dubai. They're going to be based at the Nad Al Sheba training centre, which is where they've been based before. When they go there, Mikel Arteta loves the place. He thinks the facilities are excellent. The players think the facilities are excellent. Everything's in one place. I think there's going to be plenty of Premier League clubs over there, based over there during this time. They're going to be, I think the population of Dubai is probably going to double because of the amount of footballers who are going over there during this next sort of 4 weeks or so. So yeah, they're heading over there, and they're going to take full advantage of those training facilities that they've got. Mikel Arteta was really pleased with how things went the last time he went to Dubai. He felt it really sort of kicked him on during the second half of last season when they came back to England. And he's going to be working them hard. This isn't a holiday by any means. He wants the players who haven't gone with the national teams to be in absolutely tip-top shape to hit the ground running when football returns on Boxing Day in the Premier League, because Arsenal put themselves in such a fantastic position now. It's so key that they keep themselves in good shape and they ensure that when it does return, that they are in the best shape possible to really go again and take advantage of this fantastic start. The last thing Arsenal want to do is sort of start slowly after this break and give away the advantage that they've built up over the last few weeks. So it's going to be an intense training camp at Dubai. Like I said, they're going to be there for 10 days, and it's not just going to be about training, because there are going to be some matches involved as well. So those matches, there's two that are planned for Arsenal while they're over in Dubai. Both of those are going to be in the Al Maktoum Stadium, which is the home of Al Nassr. That's where Arsenal played. It was a couple of years ago, wasn't it? Tyrese John Jules, I remember, scored. The young striker scored there. Denis Suarez played there, I think, as well. So it was during the Unai Emery time, and they're going to play two games there in front of fans. I think the capacity is about sort of 16,000, 70,000 fans are going to be allowed in. So if you're over there and you can try and get a ticket to watch Arsenal. They are going to be playing two games. They are against AC Milan, of course, another team sponsored by Emirates, and also Lyon, who I think might have some sort of partnership with Emirates. I don't think they're the main sponsor or anything, but I think they might have some sort of sponsor. And Lyon. And Liverpool are also going to be involved. It's going to be a sort of 4-team tournament, but Arsenal are not going to be playing Liverpool during that tournament. So they'll play the two other teams, but they won't play Liverpool. And then I'm not sure exactly how the tournament's going to work in terms of points. I don't know if you get extra points for goals scored, that sort of thing. But that's what's going to happen when they are in Dubai. So the dates for those games, if you want them, Arsenal versus Lyon at the moment is scheduled for the 8th of December, and then Milan is scheduled for the 13th of December. Now, again, at the time of recording this, I don't know if the contracts have been officially signed. When I wrote a big piece that went out on Goal that I'll tweet again today if you want to go and see it, where I detail exactly what's going on as well. At the time of writing that and speaking to people, final contracts hadn't been signed, and that's why Arsenal hadn't announced it. They were expecting it to be signed and sealed this week. And then once those are announced, once those are signed, then the club will announce everything and they'll put out ticket details and that sort of thing. So if you are in the area you will be able to hopefully try anyway and get tickets to see these two Arsenal games. So again, that is going to be Arsenal versus Lyon on December the 8th and Arsenal versus Milan on December 13th. As far as I'm aware, they're both going to be played at the Al Maktoum Stadium, where Arsenal, like I said, have played before. Obviously, they're going to be based in Dubai. The World Cup's going on in Qatar at that point. Now, if players get knocked out early of the World Cup, there is a possibility that they will then just head over and link up with Arsenal in Dubai. Now, that's not set in stone as well, and it kind of depends on individual circumstance and what the national teams want to do, because sometimes, obviously, the national squads all want to fly home together so that they arrive home together. They probably might have media duties, that sort of thing. If that's the case, then they might not be able to do it. But if they're allowed, then Mikel Arteta is hopeful that any players that are knocked out of the World Cup early will just be able to fly over, sort of do the little hop over to Dubai and join up with the rest of the training camp. Obviously, for Arteta, that'd be fantastic because it gets his players back earlier than possibly expected, and it allows them to join in with what the squad want to do. And they're going to really use this time in Dubai to work on things, and it's just basically going to be another pre-season. That's why Mikel Arteta, when he spoke about the likes of Fabio Vieira, he thinks this sort of time is going to be great for him because he didn't have a pre-season in the summer. This is going to be really important for him to really sort of get away and not just be in the weekly grind of matches every 2 weeks, every few days, sorry. He's going to be able to actually just properly stay with the squad and really get used to exactly what Arteta wants from him. And so any players that are knocked out, hopefully the plan will be that they will be able to link up with Arsenal in Dubai. But as I said, that kind of depends on individual circumstance. So we'll wait and see on that. Arsenal will return to the UK after about 10 days in Dubai. Basically, straight after the Milan game, they'll end up flying out. I think they might stay one more night. The Milan game will be in the evening. They'll stay that night and then they fly out the next day. And they're due to land back in the UK on December 14th. And then and then they'll go back to London Colney, just really start gearing up because the Premier League will be right around the corner at that point. But so they're due to arrive back on the 14th, and then the plan, again, contracts haven't been signed for this yet, so it hasn't been announced yet, but the plan is for there to be a big sort of glamour friendly at the Emirates, an open Emirates, so 60,000 tickets available for this one, kind of like the Emirates Cup that you get in the summer. Arsenal played Sevilla in the summer for that. This will be very, very similar. So it'll be a big glamour friendly at the Emirates on the 17th, which is a Saturday. Fans are going to be invited. Again, once the contracts are signed, then ticket details will be revealed and you'll be able to apply for tickets whichever way the club want. But I don't know who their team is going to be up against. They're looking for Spanish opposition. I know that, and they've been in talks with several Spanish clubs, top clubs, to have this friendly. But again, last time I spoke about it, contracts hadn't been signed, and so we don't know exactly who it's going to be. But the plan is for that match to take place on Saturday, December 17th at the Emirates, and it will be open to fans, so you will be able to get tickets, or tickets will be available for that match. So that'll be very exciting. I mean, it'll be like the Emirates Cup's always a great day, and this will be very, very similar. And I imagine after so long without Arsenal, everyone is going to want to get involved and get into this game, and that would be a really sort of good warm up ahead of the return on Boxing Day. Now, obviously, the Carabao Cup, there's a round of Carabao Cup fixtures. Not that it doesn't matter to Arsenal because they're out of it now, but that would be on, I think, the 20th and 21st. So a lot of teams will be really preparing for those games, and by the time 17th comes around, they'll be really in final preparations for the restart. Arsenal have a little bit longer to go, but they'll still use that game as a really important warm-up fixture ahead of the West Ham game on Boxing Day. So that's on the 17th. If they are unable to do that, and all the talks with the various clubs just don't prove successful, and they aren't able to get a really sort of big name team that would be viable to open the stadium up and sell tickets for, then they will still have a friendly on that day. But the plan is it'll be just behind closed doors friendly at London Colney. So we'll wait and see. Like I said, I think that as this week progresses, we should find out more about exactly who Arsenal are going to be playing on these dates, and the dates will be set in stone and ticket details will be announced. But yeah, they are planning for a friendly on the 17th of December. And that's it. That is, as far as I'm aware, that is the plan. And then once that friendly happens, all the other players will be, in the latter stages of World Cup, will come back to Arsenal, and then it is just all eyes on that game against Boxing Day against West Ham at the Emirates, where hopefully Arsenal can continue where they left off and really build on what has been this fantastic start to the season. All right, that's it from me. A little bit of a different sort of video this week, but I thought you might want to know exactly what Arsenal do have planned. So hopefully it's been beneficial, this information for you. Please do let me know anything you agree with, disagree with, anything like that I've said in this video, your Ronaldo thoughts. Of course, just drop me a comment below, and always enjoy reading and getting your views. Have a very good Monday, everyone. I'll speak to you soon.